What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Nerf Elite Accustrike Stratohawk. No, this is not Photoshop. This is a real thing. This is a reskin and a relaunch of the Nerf Elite RAPIDSTRIKE. It's the same shell with a new paint job. Just like the RAPIDSTRIKE, the Stratohawk is a magazine-fed, flywheel-powered, fully automatic blaster. Let's get into the review. Included is the blaster, scope, barrel, 25-round drum, Accustrike darts, and the instructions. Too long didn't read, the Stratohawk is a direct reskin of the original Nerf Elite RAPIDSTRIKE. But I'll still do an external overview in case you're unfamiliar with the RAPIDSTRIKE. Don't let the added accessories fool you, this is the same shell as the original RAPIDSTRIKE. Starting up at the front, of course it does have an in-strike attachment lug, so you can attach any of your barrel extensions, including the one that comes with the blaster. Above that you have the front sight, which can swivel down if you don't need it, then a front sling attachment point, as well as the battery tray. The Stratohawk, just like the RAPIDSTRIKE, runs on 4 C-type alkaline batteries, with the same style tray as the RAPIDSTRIKE. Below that you have an in-strike Tacticool rail, then another rail up on the top, and another one right here, and another one on the other side, and then another one on the top. Holy tactics, Batman. I mean, all of these rails, bro. And this top rail is built into something of a carry handle, so, you know, you can carry it. Hence the name carry handle. And built into the carry handle is a little sight system, which has a little front piece here, and then it also has a rear piece here. So you're able to look through this tube, that tube, and then through the front sight if it's flipped up, with 3 points of reference for a pretty clean sight picture. Granted, it is really low, so you kind of have to smash your face up against the shell to get your eye down there to see. But whatevs, you can totally just put your sight up on top of the rail if you want to. And in the rear portion of the carry handle is another sling attachment point. Directly below the carry handle is the access door. To get in there, you can just pull back to get your finger in to clear out any jams or malfunctions. I only experienced the normal amount of hiccups and jams, as you will with any fully automatic blaster, when you're using crummy-ish darts, or worn out darts, or ones that have too much glue around their heads, you know, old ones, everybody shoots them. But I didn't have any jams or malfunctions with new-ish or good condition darts. Frequency of jams is pretty much the same as the RAPIDSTRIKE, so hopefully you know what I'm talking about there. Now getting down to the magazine well, included with the blaster is a 25-round drum. This is the same design as the existing Nerf 25-round symmetrical drum. It just has a white front face. And mine actually fed pretty well. It didn't have any hiccups. The ones that were included with the Rhino Fire jammed a lot, and sometimes these 25-round drums don't really work that well. But this one fed pretty smoothly, so awesome. Mag insertion is nice and smooth. The magazine release is right behind the magazine well, so you can strike it with your middle finger of your firing hand, or use the thumb of your offhand to pull it out. That's staying out of the blaster because it's super noisy. Behind the magazine release is the rev trigger and the firing trigger. The rev trigger works like any other rev trigger. You hold that to rev up the blaster prior to firing, and after it's revving, then you pull the primary trigger to fire. This is a fully automatic blaster, like the Hyperfire or the original RAPIDSTRIKE, meaning you can hold down the trigger and not let off, and it fires off 25 rounds in a row, or the capacity of whatever magazine you have inserted. Furthermore, this is an electronically controlled trigger mech, so you can barely tap the trigger and it will automatically complete an entire cycle, which means it's very easy to just very lightly tap the trigger to just fire off one if you just want to fire essentially in semi-auto mode. But there's no selector switch like the regulator to mechanically control that, so you have to just be gentle on the trigger. Moving down to the grip, it's a very ergonomic grip, very comfortable. I'm an adult with a large hand, and I find this blaster very comfortable to hold. The grip feels very similar to the Strife, and it's, you know, exactly like the RAPIDSTRIKE, because it is a RAPIDSTRIKE. And at the bottom of the grip, you have a sling or lanyard mount. Now to the stock portion, this is a collapsible stock. It's in the extended version now, so you can press this orange button and push in, and now it's collapsed. It's kind of a 2-position stock. It only has in and out. There aren't like tweener stages. But it's a solid stock, so you can feel pretty good with it up against your shoulder. I personally consider the collapsed form more of like a storage mode. It's really little. It almost feels like a Retaliator stock in collapsed form, so it might not be practical to use in this form unless you're shooting from the hip like a boss, but I would recommend you can pull it out and use it like a normal blaster. Or go gangster mode. Because you can. Rails on the side of the blaster, why not? So that's the external overview of the Stratohawk blaster. The ergonomics are phenomenal. The balance, the weighting, it feels great in the hands. It's what I would describe as a classic feel. It feels like a traditional carbine or a rifle, so if you want that type of feel, it provides it for sure. Compared to the Hyperfire, which is kind of a wonky, irregular, like kind of goofy feel. It's not bad, but it's just goofy. This is very classic and, you know, predictable, traditional. It's nice. If you've ever held a RAPIDSTRIKE, it feels exactly like that because this is a RAPIDSTRIKE. That's the overview of the blaster itself, but it also comes with a scope, barrel, and 25-round drum. The included barrel is pretty much the modulus long-range barrel with a new paint color, or lack of paint actually, it's just all orange. But it is the same mold with the same dimensions and the same length and all of that. It looks a little bland on its own because it's all orange, it doesn't have the modulus paint, but the modulus paint wouldn't really match, plus this is not a modulus blaster, it's in the Accustrike Elite series. So they kept it all orange and it looks a little weird on its own, but once you put it onto the blaster, I think it fits in pretty well. In similar story with the scope, this is the modulus scope shell, it's the exact same product, but it doesn't have the same paint. Because the modulus paint doesn't match with the Accustrike blasters, it's just a little different. But it is the same shell, it looks the same, it feels the same. And in the same way, I think it looks a little bland. It looks like it's missing paint, because it is. But when you attach it to the blaster, it matches and it all kind of goes into theme. Same goes with the included 25 round drum. It looks the same. Actually, this one works smoother than the other 25 round drums I have, but it's the same design with just a white front face, so it looks a little different. And when you plug it in there, it all matches and stuff. So that's the overview of the Stratohawk and the included accessories. Again, to operate, you load in batteries, you load the magazine, you insert the mag, press the rev trigger, then press the primary trigger, and pew pew all day, every day, bro. Full auto, tons of fun. Let's see it out on the range. Starting with the included orange Accustrike darts. Now some burst firing. And now shooting blue elite darts. And burst firing elite darts. I'm not going to hit any. Operating the Stratohawk blaster is tons of fun. It's exactly like a RAPIDSTRIKE. Although I need to comment on one difference, the audio level is a little different. When firing in full auto with the Stratohawk, it's a little louder and it sounds like there's more mechanical whine going on. I'm not sure if my blaster's unique or if I have a lemon compared to other Stratohawks, but it's noisier than all of my RAPIDSTRIKEs. That being said, the performance is pretty solid. I put the Stratohawk up on my chronograph and achieved an average velocity of 74 feet per second with Accustrike darts and 70 feet per second with Nerf Elite darts to compare to other blasters. So it's shooting exactly on that 70 FPS Elite par, so it shoots just as hard as all your other Nerf blasters. And the firing mechanics are pretty smooth. I did not have any jams or malfunctions with reasonable Nerf darts. An issue with any magazine-fed fully automatic blaster that I've tested, if you use crummy enough darts, it will jam, and that's just because it's trying to cycle super fast in full auto. So it's not unique to the Stratohawk. I experienced the same issues with RAPIDSTRIKE, Hyperfire, all of my full auto, but it's still worth noting because the blaster's not perfect, you have to use decent darts. I just don't have 1,000 brand new darts to test every blaster with. I have to recycle to go through my testing procedure. So that is all of the objective information on the Accustrike Stratohawk. Now to my personal opinion. Overall, I'm stoked that they re-released the RAPIDSTRIKE, or the Stratohawk. It will no doubt get a nickname of the Orange RAPIDSTRIKE or the relaunch of the RAPIDSTRIKE because it is a RAPIDSTRIKE. It's really only Accustrike because they painted it orange and included Accustrike darts. There's really nothing mechanical about it that makes it Accustrike, and the design elements of the blaster don't even scream Accustrike like some of the other Accustrike blasters. When they discontinued the RAPIDSTRIKE, a lot of fans were upset, especially because it was more or less replaced by the Hyperfire, and a lot of people did not like that. The Hyperfire is not a classic blaster ergonomically speaking. It feels pretty weird, where the RAPIDSTRIKE is a very classic blaster. It feels good in the hands. You can hand it to somebody who's never nerfed before and they're going to feel comfortable with it instantly. The Hyperfire, you have to adjust to. It's kind of weird. So I'm glad that they relaunched it, just like the Demolisher, just like the Long Strike, but the Long Strike reskin was upgraded. This one is pretty much the same as the RAPIDSTRIKE. And they slapped on existing accessories with, modified paint and just a lack of paint job for these. It works, so whatevs. This really does look like a prototype part that's not quite ready when it's off of the blaster, but I think it looks great when it's on the blaster. But I can't help but think it was a little rushed, like lack of paint, and the other side of the blaster, lack of paint. So it looks a little bit rushed, but I can't really complain. I mean, I'm just happy that they brought back the RAPIDSTRIKE, so we can't really get too picky and, they don't have the texture on the Stratohawk. Like with the RAPIDSTRIKE, if you run your finger over the text here, you can feel it. It's like extruded upward. This is just paint, it's flat. I can't be too picky, I'm just glad that they brought the RAPIDSTRIKE back. I do think it's odd that they have the sniper long-range barrel with a scope and a 25-round drum out of a fully automatic blaster. DMR or marksman with full auto 25-round drum capacity. Like, okay, kind of a strange look they're going for here, but you know, just chalk it up to it being rushed, whatevs. It's on the shelves prior to Christmas. That's all they shot for, and they scored. And if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan like Houday, like this blaster's built for you. Or if you really like Frosted Flakes, the Tony the Tiger, either way, it's built for you. They're great! Oh, that'd be a funny idea for a costume. Dual wielding these guys with like a tiger costume on. So my opinion, I loaded up on Rapid Strikes when I knew they were going discontinued, so I have enough to last me, you know, forever. I don't know why I need more than one, but I have 6 or 7 whatevs, I have them. So I'm not as personally stoked for the Stratohawk because I'll just continue using my Rapid Strikes, but I'm glad they're back on the market for those that were missing out. Instead of using the Hyperfire, you can use your Rapid Strike, or Stratohawk Rapid Strike, Orange Rapid Strike. Bah, I'm getting into my rambling state, so I just need to stop. They're great! That is the video review of the Stratohawk blaster. If you're interested in purchasing one, I'll leave a buy link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical.